And as Andrew mentioned, we aren't like in caveman times. Society has evolved so we can keep the best parts of traditionalism and get rid of some of the really archaic, outdated parts.
You're right, like paying for first dates.
I never said anything about paying for first dates.
No, I know, that's super like archaic. And
I make more money than my husband does. I pay for a lot of shit.
Yeah. But like you heard 4 women here at the table who said they want a man to pay 2024.
They're not speaking for me, and I'm not speaking for them.
Yeah, I know,
Every
but
woman
we're
is
talking
different.
in generalities.
I cook a lot of the meals. That would be considered a traditional female
wow, that's
gender
like really
role.
sexist that you adhere to this like traditional gender role of like cooking.
If you think so,
cooking.
I make my boyfriend a sandwich.
I don't think
some
so.
of the
But you're adhering to a traditional gender role.
That's why I'm saying you can adhere to some of them, but not all of them, because society has evolved and we don't need to be like stuck in the home in the 1950s.
So why?
The archaic parts are here's what you mean by archaic here, just so you know. The men have all the responsibility, but none of the authority. Because them having the authority, because them having the authority is archaic. And it's like, that is the feminist creed. It's always been the feminist
how would the men having all of that
of authority unless women determine that they should be qualified to lead them? So my position on that is like, yeah, fuck that, that's stupid, and men should absolutely do the opposite of that.
Well, if a woman is doing the majority of the cooking, that's quite a bit of responsibility and not necessarily in her favor, so that's not really validating
it's quite a bit of responsibility inside that nice warm house that has all that heat in it, that has every modern luxury possible invented by men.
For.
You go over to the gas stove that's imported by men. Hang on, and it's built by men. All of the modern infrastructure, which your car drives on to go get those groceries at the modern convenience store with the freezer system, which is all built by men. All of it was invented by men, and then you get back in that nice luxury automobile and you go back home on those roads built by men, and then you get home and you're protected 24 hours a day by military, which is completely and totally inundated with men, and a police force that guards you 24/7, to the point where they're literally one phone call away and have a rapid response time, usually, 5 to 7 minutes. Yes, I can totally tell that it's very archaic that men be put in charge of everything.
That is because women are still catching up. For the longest time, we're still catching up.
What?
No, listen.
Men are just better than us.
Listen, a lot of the time in like scientific communities back in the day, like take the girl Marie Curie. She discovered radiation, and then a guy took it off her desk and put his fucking name on it. So it's like women
all those
are
female inventions.
Women are Wi-Fi was invented by a woman. Like think of all the inventions we would have if we brought women to the table.
Everything.
I mean, look at a house built by a woman and look at a house built by a man. It is way more functional. They don't put the laundry room downstairs.
Women don't build houses.
Women
you talking about
architects?
Architects. Oh, the designers.
The designers.
They don't literally build.
No, I'm saying like if you look at women architects and male architects, usually the households are better.
Architects don't build houses?
No,
what are you talking about?
I'm saying designing. I apologize.
So female architects are better than male architects?
I would say they're more efficient.
But do you know why that is? You're right. You're actually right. The reason that women build more or design more functional houses than men do from architecture standpoints is because when men do the architecture for a home, they encompass the family unit and the woman's needs. That's why. So what men do when they look at a home is they take into account the entire idea of the family structure for convenience, and then they incorporate that, and women don't.
No, women do. Because if you actually
what's more functional about a house designed by a woman?
Okay, for example, like the placement of where the laundry should be, the placement of where the children's bedrooms are. If you like cabinets, pantry space, like if you look it up.
Is this a study or are you just?
No, I swear I looked it up. I was super interested by it.
What's the study? I mean,
come on, I don't have a computer in the top of my head and I can't remember exactly, but you guys all have computers out there. Just research it. Just look up female design houses versus men design houses.
Men incapable.
Here we go.
Of
there is no compelling evidence whatsoever in any scientific literature that women architecturally design better homes than men or men than women.
I'm saying
So they're equal. That's what you just said.
I do got to move it on.
No. I didn't say they're equal. What I said was that there's no scientific evidence to give to the contrary. Now, I personally would say, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Of course, men build all the houses, they build all the infrastructure, they build everything. But I mean, if you just want to say, well, female architects, they put the laundry room in the better place.
I'm just saying that
I'll just go ahead and grant it. It really has nothing to do with.
I'm saying
argument.
Efficiency. Like, women think differently than men, and that's not a bad thing. Like, we could use that to see things from a different point of view. When you see things from a different point of view, you get scientific breakthroughs.
Like DEI. So so you're talking about like DEI, right? So like when it comes to like astrophysics, you think, or how about like chemical engineering? You think like if it's a black person in there, like because of their life experience, because they're black, they're going to be able to like bring something new to like mathematics or physics or something?
I'm saying if you beat somebody down, you're never going to know.
Yeah, you didn't really answer my question, but
women have never been beaten down. All the women, so like when you say women needed to catch up, all of these original feminists who made all this original feminist literature were flying all over the world. They were highly educated. Since we've been keeping tabs in the 1700s for public education, women have always done better when it came to diplomas and getting degrees. They've never been removed from education. It was only a few Ivy League schools where that was the case. Most men also were not allowed to be college educated because they couldn't meet the bare minimal threshold for getting into those schools. And so what's happened now is we've just simply lowered the standards so significantly that now a college degree is the equivalent of an 8th grade education. Ask me how I know, because I argue with people who have doctorates, PhDs, right? Master's degrees in every sort of field you can imagine, and absolutely destroy them. And it's because they're so fucking stupid that literally what's happened is you took the standard, this high standard, the threshold barrier for entry, and lowered it so significantly that anybody could do it. College was about rewarding the best and the brightest. Not everybody could go. In fact, almost nobody could go. And so this idea that women just were historically oppressed, and they just haven't caught up. There's no barrier to entry for any job for women, and there hasn't been for about 40 years. And they're still doing the same shit that they were doing in the year 1700, the same shit. Service industry, basic educational work, secretary, clerical work, sex work, same fucking shit they've always been doing. So you tell me, when is it that you think women are going to dive into the construction field and get on the oil rigs and start building fucking society and infrastructure? When do you think that's going to be? How many years do you think it's going to take before women decide that they're going to do those jobs because they've been so historically oppressed?
I mean, I know women who roof houses and are welders.
You don't know any fucking welding.
I do.
You're so full of shit.
I swear.
You know what? Tell me the woman's name who you know who does welding. What's her name?
Roofing.
We fucked her once. What was her name?
Yeah, you don't know her. You don't even know her name.
I swear.
So you don't know their name.
Look, I've been very honest on this podcast, and I'm telling you, I do know a roofer woman.
Here, I'm gonna have you pull up an info.
There's absolutely more men in the field, but there are women in it too.
That women are going to totally get into construction.
I'm saying
Here,
that we're
I'll
still
send it
catching up.
One sec. I'm gonna.
Why are we harping on women doing construction? We should be talking about things like banking, finance. Like, obviously men are stronger than women. We all know this. So yeah, it makes a little bit more sense for them to go into the construction field. Okay, but if you want to talk about smarts, I don't think why aren't we discussing things like banking and like
open the new tab.
medical
Let's discuss it.
Well, hold on. Before we do that, just while we're here on this point.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
Did you open it in a new tab? I don't want the Dropbox window. Okay, go ahead, pull it up. All right, so it's just, look, me and Andrew here, when we're saying like women don't do this, women don't do that, we're talking in general here, right? Yeah, are there like some women outliers who participate in some of these jobs? Go ahead, pull it up. All right, top 20 most dangerous U.S. occupations and the percentage male. Logging workers, 94.9%. Fishing workers, 99.9%. Aircraft pilots, 94.8%. Roofers, 98.3%. And then, we could read the other ones. But
why are we equating strength to smarts, though, if we're discussing women having a leadership role in society?
She brought up roofers.
She did.
It literally says roofers on the chart.
I'm sorry I made a generalization, but I'm saying that typically women are put more into a box because of our strength. But if we can equal that, if we can have more machines, I mean, hell, Teslas are basically built by machines all the time. Like, you guys are going to be out of a job soon too anyway.
And their argument is built by a man, so just...
But things aren't going to be, like, we evolve and we grow, and women are still evolving and women are still growing. And I feel like that's a good thing.
Okay, cool. Let's play the bow video. Final thing on the...
Hang on, if you don't mind, it's very quickly, Brian.
Okay.
I just wanted to point out female jobs, most female jobs by occupation: preschool, kindergarten teacher, medical record specialist, child care workers, speech, language pathologist, dental hygienist, skincare specialist, dental assistants, medical secretaries, executive secretaries, dietitian secretaries. The list goes on and on. If you compare this directly to the same occupations that they had 200 years ago, minus only 2 based on technology, it's the same occupations.
Well,
There's
okay,
no
but
more
that's the
barrier
same
for
with
entry.
men. That's the
You
same
can
with
also-
men.
hang
Didn't
on,
exist
hang on,
200 years
you
ago.
can also see this in the Nordic nations. They became more egalitarian. Jordan Peterson's brought this argument up many times. As Nordic nations became more egalitarian, people moved more towards their gender applicable roles. And so every single time we see this, whether it's in an egalitarian, non-egalitarian society, they're always moving towards the same exact roles.
I do.
These ones.
Okay, yeah, but men have been building houses and doing like heavy stuff for like ever.
I do have to move things